Hi, my name's Stuart Spinks and welcome to my very first podcast, Beekeeping, Short and Sweet. So, welcome to my first beekeeping podcast, and really this podcast is an opportunity for me to lay bare my plans to you all and explain what you have to look forward to in the coming weeks and months. The podcast has been initially designed for my supporters on my Patreon page. If you're not familiar with Patreon, it's a support page where you can help me produce more beekeeping content by sponsoring from as little as $1 a month. And with the current exchange rate, that's costing anyone in the UK less and less each day. Check out my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/Norfolk Honey. You may also be familiar with my YouTube channel, the Norfolk Honey Company. I've uploaded lots of beekeeping videos to share there and aim to continue to do this as the coming year unfolds. In order to help new beekeepers, I also have a private Facebook group called Stuart's Beekeeping Basics, where we have a small team of experienced beekeepers helping out the novice and beginner beekeepers with their questions about their new hobby. A friendly environment where nobody asks a dumb question and everyone is treated with respect. So please do check out all of those environments, and I'll put some links in the podcast notes to accompany this podcast. So if you're familiar with podcasts, you'll know there are literally hundreds out there, and I was concerned that my small niche voice wouldn't be heard, and so I've attempted to come up with a slightly different angle on the normal beekeeping podcast and gone for a format which mimics a podcast that I really like to listen to myself called The Way I Heard It by Mike Rowe. His tagline is that his podcasts are for the curious mind with a short attention span, and that really hit home for me as I've got both. I really recommend his podcasts as they tick a lot of boxes for me, and you might like to have a listen to those sometime. So I'm thinking there must be many beekeepers out there like me who want to listen to a beekeeping podcast but don't always have the time to devote upwards of an hour or so listening. So my aim in Beekeeping, Short and Sweet, is to try to fulfill both criteria I set out, being to pique the curious mind, but also to keep it short enough not to send you all to sleep. So expect the podcasts to last between maybe 6 to 15 minutes maximum and cover a range of beekeeping topics. So what can you look forward to? Well, instructional sometimes, dictatorial never. Hopefully interviews with people from beekeeping backgrounds, maybe suppliers or commercial beekeepers, that kind of thing. And maybe some product reviews of items that maybe I've been sent or items that I've purchased myself. Sometimes witty, although I'm told my sense of humour is an acquired taste, and maybe thought-provoking and or controversial sometimes, but who knows. But it's always meant with a warm heart and primarily here as entertainment, so something to fill that time with a little bit of beekeeping chat. So that's it. Finally, I would ask you to bear with me during these first few weeks of podcasting until I find my feet. Sign up for my podcasts as they're released, and remember, I'm Stuart Spinks, and this is Beekeeping, Short and Sweet.